Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, to me, is a well-rounded person. He's hardworking, he's compassionate, he's full of wisdom, he's got so much empathy, he's a leader, he's a team player. I've worked with so many bosses in the course of my career, but honestly, thumbs up. He walks the talk. He doesn't just give you direction, he does with you. He is a leader in all ramification. That is Mr. Babajide Olushola, someone that I know and I've worked with in the last 2 years, 3 months before he vied for the governorship of Lagos State.
Personally, I would describe Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu in 2 ways. One, as a union person. I'm presently the Secretary of Senior Staff Association of the corporation. So I would describe him from the union point of view and from his staff point of view. I remember one of the first thing Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu did when he came into office was invite the union representative. And one of the statements he made that day was that he invited us because we are a stakeholder in the corporation. And to me, that is a very wonderful idea because he sees us as a partner in progress, which is very wonderful. And going forward, he ensures that he engages us periodically when there are issues. So by this is actually being very proactive because before issues start, we've already discussed same with him, and this is very, like I said, means that he's a person that sees staff's welfare, that prioritizes staff welfare. And as a person, I've been opportune to meet and interact with him in many occasions. And I see him as a mentor, as a father, as a leader, and someone that has a very vast knowledge of experience. Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is someone that encourages hard work and rewards hard work too. And he's a person that, like you do tell her that he's very finicky, he's very particular about his things. And one of the few things he did while in office, you actually can see that. He came here 2016, and in these 2 years, he has made a lot of changes to the corporation, one of which is his present block we are in. He actually turned the block around. And like you do say that, for a total overhauling of the system, you need people and a process. The process is easy, but you have to actually change the mindset of the people, which he actually did. He's a people's person. He makes sure that he actually interacts with you when he sees you. And if he forgets your name, he will ask again. That's one of the good things about him. And as a leader, he has 3 qualities which I actually admire. He's accessible, he's a listener, and he's selfless.
Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, to me, is a man that fears God. And I believe that makes him wise. And that has helped him in his work in LSDPC. The wisdom that he exhibits has given him a better edge in the corporation.
Babajide Sanwo-Olu is a leader and he's a boss, and he's another easygoing man, and he's always generous for me personally and full staff and over caring.
Mr. Sanwo-Olu is someone I find to be an astute administrator. He is a man with a vision. He's a man with a purpose, and is a man that takes measured steps towards achieving his purpose. Spent only just about 2 years and I think about 3 months, 2 years, 3 months or thereabout here in LSDPC, and he was able to achieve very major positive changes. I would say he left lasting legacies. I'm sure you've seen some of his legacies around in terms of physical infrastructure and he left legacies in terms of human capital development in that short period of time?
I can describe him in many forms because he's many things to a lot of people. But one thing that is very clear is looking at him from my own purview, which is HR. He is a man that has the workers' welfare at heart. Right from his inception here at LSDPC, he took staff welfare as his priority, even when there were challenges, because initially when he came in, the system wasn't too smooth, you know. At that time, there was challenge of funding. There was just so many challenges. We had HR, or rather, labor issues, you know. But he came in probably because of his experience both at the private and the public sector. He was able to resolve all the lingering problems within few months that he was there. In fact, I am also a testimony to one of his early achievements here at LSDPC. Before he came in as the managing director, the highest that any staff could get to here was the deputy general manager. So he came in and he said, well, I mean, if for him, he doesn't see anything stopping any staff here who is deserving of a deserving staff from getting to the zenith of his or her career. So we changed the existing rule, and it was the one that brought in the idea of elevating staff to the position of general manager. So that's how a few of us in the system were able to get to the position of general manager.
Well, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu is an astute leader. He's a man of character. He's a leader and a mentor by excellence. He's ever interested in bringing out the best from this employee. And I've happened to have benefited immensely from his wealth of experience and his leadership style.
I joined LSDPC year 2000. So this is my 19th year. Mr. Sanwo-Olu is a total package, like I said. I've had the privilege of working with about 5 CEOs directly, maybe one indirectly. And Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu encompasses all, everyone, we all have our SWOTs. And I always try to analyze what his weakness is. And usually I end up believing and just a takeaway that his weakness is actually a strength. In administering maybe, what would I say? Maybe I want to call it penalty, punishment for any erring staff. He will turn it into a positivity. So he doesn't see anyone as being totally useless. He would rather call you and have a chat with you, give you life experiences, give you examples, and before you realize, the person is turning around. So in comparing him with other CEOs, he comes down to everyone's level and he takes people as they are, and he believes everyone has a role to play and each and everyone must play. So to me, his management style is a totally different one, albeit very, very worthy of emulation, and it worked. He was there, like I said, 2 years, 3 months, and he was able to impact the people, the environment, and the process. He started what we call the Project Eagle. It's still an oncoming thing. The Project Eagle is to come up with new processes of doing things easier, faster, interacting with the public, ways of doing our job and service delivery, and the people. Generally, public servants, civil servants are seen as lazy, they're not ready to work and all that. It changed the face of that. And then the environment. Anyone coming to LSDPC in the last 2 years or 1.5, slightly before you came, the environment is totally different. My office, if you had been here in the last 2 years, this was like a rundown. Look, if you compare now, then it didn't look rundown. We all come here, we work and we go. But it's a totally new environment. This looks like a bank, So it actually affected all the facets of the corporation. Total package, honestly. BOS.
Before we came, we have this idea of, training especially is done when there is money, is the first to suffer. Immediately there is problem with cash flow. But when he came in, he said, if you want to get the best from staff, you need to motivate them. So he took staff motivation as his priority. And no matter how financial constrained he had at that time, he ensured that every month or at every point in time, staff's training and other welfare are taken as priority. And at times, some of us wonder how he is able to achieve those things he achieved. The other thing that I also see is, since I got to LSDPC, I dare say I've not seen the infrastructural regeneration that he undertook, and he completed most of them. This office is a testimony. You need to be here some few years back and you see the state of the office. But he went around and he said, look, if you want your staff to give you the best, it's not only training them, you also must give them the best environment to work. And that will challenge them to give you the best. So he undertook that project. He started with Block A. That's where he was when he was there. And when he completed that Block A, people thought, oh, this is the best LSDPC I've ever seen. But little did they know that, he was just bringing out the bird from his pocket. He undertook this one too, and he did a complete renovation. At some point, some of us were thinking he's over trading, because when we looked at the cost implication of what he was doing, but he was able to achieve all those, with the problem of cash flow that was inherent in the system at that time. So apart from his love for staff welfare, I think he also came with some ingenious financial engineering that some of us don't really understand and we've never seen before he got here. But the other area that I can also comment on is his ability to bring out the best in every member of staff. Some of us, before he came, we were not so challenged as to bring out the best in us. So when he came, he will give you the environment to excel, and he will also challenge you with tasks. He will give you a commensurate task to what he think, your experience should carry. And for some of us, it was a new experience because we were used to, I must do some admission here. Some of us were used to the usual standards, just do it. But when he came, he brought that touch of excellence, and it demands the best from you every time. And that was a challenge to every one of us, that most times we have to go back before you even go before him to make presentation. You ensure that you go back, you check and double check, and you see that, look, what I'm bringing will meet his standard. I won't say it's a pity he left so shortly, because if you compare what he did here to the number of years he did with us, you probably want to say he was the shortest CEO in terms of what he achieved compared to the shortest serving CEO in terms of the achievement. Because we served under those who spent 10 years and they hardly achieved a quarter of what he achieved. So for me, he was a wonderful person, and in so many aspects, in terms of welfare, he was up there. In terms of bringing out the best in staff, he was there. And also, I need to mention this. He never failed to reprimand when necessary. When you take things to him and he thinks this does not meet the required standard, he won't fail to chastise you. And he won't do that because he hates you. At times when you leave, he will find time and call you and tell you, look, that thing could be done better than what you did. And he wasn't just out to hurt you, but he was there to correct you and ensure he brings out the best in you.
He achieved in so many areas while in LSDPC. He improved the life of staff in LSDPC. People were well trained when he was in LSDPC. Officers that had never been out on training were out on training. Most people that have not been considered, for capacity building to improve themselves in any area, they had the opportunity of adding knowledge to what they know before while he was in LSDPC. So I can say he had that as a credit to himself, improving the life of staff on the job, and even in their personal lives. Most people were well taken care of while he was in LSDPC. There's a particular opportunity that was made available to staff, which is staff advances to staff, for their welfare. During his tenure, everything was going on smoothly. People were able to, if you are lacking in any area, you can go to him. Even officially, you'll be considered, you'll be given, at least your life gets better. Leave bonuses were paid, furniture allowances were paid. People become, more comfortable when he was around. And you can see a lot of improvements still going on within the corporation. Those are his handiwork. That is what he started while he was here. He had added to the color of LSDPC, more building, better infrastructures here and there. Like this office that we are in was completed just some few months before he left LSDPC. And as a management staff, we had the opportunity of riding new cars. That was to his credit. He did a lot.
Well, he came in at a time when things were a bit at a low ebb for the corporation. Operations-wise, we were a bit on the low side. But despite, that situation, was able to achieve a turnaround. You would recall that was a period that even the national economy itself was not doing too well. And finances were hard. But Mr. Sanwo-Olu he applied his ingenuity. By the time he left, we had close to about 6 projects, with 3 or 4 advanced stages. And all out of almost nothing. So we was able to create about 3 projects in the Lekki axis, doing very well. You know, we had about another 3 projects here on the mainland. So I would say that he's an ingenious person. He's an ingenious person. He applied himself to the job, was able to bring in his wealth of experience. You know, he has a wealth of experience, you know, having been in government, you know, for that period of time, and was able to leverage on that, you know, and I'm sure there are good things in the offing for Lagosians.
Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu is an astute leader, and like I said earlier, he's a person that is so much interested in bringing out the best from his staff. Before Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu got to LSDPC, LSDPC has had a process, but the process was not as defined as much as it is now. And his 3 cardinal points while he was here was the people, the process, and then the environment. He was so much interested in the people, knowing fully well that it's the people that will drive the process. And that was why he invested so much in human resource development. During his time, a lot of staff, both senior, junior, and middle-ranking officers in the corporation went on training within the state, outside the state, and even outside the country. He was so much also interested in the environment. And you can also see that in the transformation that took place in Block B and in Block D. And he has already started in Block B before the clarion call came for him to lead the state as the governor. Where he also talked about the process. He made the process seamless. He made the process easy. And at the same time, he made the process to flow. And that was why he also started a project while he was there. And they call it the Project Eagle, trying to make sure that the process in LSDPC is seamless and also as fast as it could. And he has started working on that before he left. And you cannot, the comparison is, the difference is too clear. And we are so sure that he's coming to the state. The state will move forward and get better for it.
Fine, like I said, this block is a physical is one of the examples, and the receptions and aside that, he actually invests a lot in staff welfare. Like during this program, most staff actually went for training. This is part of the process of improving, because it's like feeding the goose that lays the golden egg. He actually invested in the staff, which is very nice thing to do. So it makes his staff feel part of this development process itself. And one of the program he actually engineered then was Project Eagle. And Project Eagle is actually an initiative to take LSDPC to the next level. And like I say, why did we choose Eagle? We chose Eagle then because of its peculiarity, its ability to survive and all that. Because we realized that we're in the construction industry. And whether we like it or not, LSDPC of today is not LSDPC of about 30 years ago. Before LSDPC 30 years ago, we are actually the only company that built house. But now we have a lot of competitors. And we have to stay edge above competition if we want to remain relevant in the industry. So because of this, that's one of the reasons we had Project Eagle, to revive the corporation, to add the total overhauling.
In fact, a few times don't load the one be from day one. Don't you better be not in Seychelles. Number one, it will fún me personally see for the past 20, let's say 19 years, mo ti wà ní corporation. Only promotion and gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe fún wa wọ́n ń ṣe ìgbà tó dé at least wọ́n promote wọ́n dẹ̀ fún mi ní award.
He was still at work on a Friday, and by Monday morning, of course, weekend was full of activity. Mr. Sanwo-Olu has been chosen as the party's candidate, and everyone's like, oh, and Monday morning, lo and behold, he didn't come to work. And the next management meeting, he had to call and he was put on speaker. I was like, just like that. He was still at work, carrying some files to him for, Oga, please, can you please look at it? And then, so it was how would I call it? Sweet and sour for us. Sweet in the sense that, yes, higher calling for him and the best for Lagos State. If given his antecedent and knowing who he is, and having even spoken to those, having had conversations to those he's worked with in the past and his person, this is the best for the state. God helping them with his running mate, honestly. And Sam was that, oh my God, this was his dream, changing the whole face of LSDPC. Everyone is already queuing into this thing, and this man is being just taking off us. We were shaking a bit, but knowing that we have to continue this legacy and we must not let him fail. And we're trying, and I hope that we're still maintaining the standard he left behind. For example, he started also what we call the Merit Award Day. In times past, we usually have end of year get together, thanking God, a party and all that. But he said he would rather have a Merit Award Day to appreciate and recognize staff who had worked meritoriously in the last 1 year. And this, I think, started June 2017. It came in 2016, like June. So a year later, we had this. And there was I think, let me say, maybe he likes dancing, I want to believe, or choreography. I said he would like for us to have a choreography group as well, to interject and put a little bit of fun into the day, the Merit Award Day. And I like dancing. That's my best hobby. So I became the class captain or the coordinator of the choreography group. And Mr. Sanwo-Olu is a member, is a student. He would come for practice every day with us. He practices with us. The days he can't come, we usually have the practice 1 hour, I think 2 to 3, and everyone goes back to work. The days he can't come, he will tell us to please record, and we send to him and we practice. In fact, I think I have a picture on my table. This is what he has. This was the one we used in 2018. The one we used in 2017 was a blue colored one. He would dance with us on that day. He's suit, attending to people, giving awards, and when it's time for the choreography, Sanwo-Olu will yank off his jacket, put on the t-shirt, and he joins us. Honestly, he's a leader who walks the talk. What we have seen in his campaign team, him getting down to helping people, the hairdresser, the mechanic, that is him. He will say, roll up your sleeves. Roll up your sleeves. It's not a leader or an MD that will sit down and expect you to do. No. Everyone must be involved. That is the kind of leader man is.
When I heard about his candidacy, I was surprised because it came as just a surprise to me. And along the line, I have to adjust myself because I see it as an improvement, on his own personality. And it's a man I've always been praying for, that God would, take him to higher grounds because he's been so good to us as members of staff of LSDPC. So I have to adjust myself quickly as to, this man is going for something better. You better allow your mind to, come together and just wish him well as a person, which I succumbed to.
Oh, I was very happy. Because while he was in LSDPC, I used to say, it's like somebody that when they announced him, I was happy. And like I used to say, it's like somebody that has capacity for 50 and is only given 5. So he's still 45. Because I worked with him closely. And by God's grace, he's somebody that rewards hard work. I happened to have benefited when he came in 2000 and the first year when he came in. I happened to benefit from his leadership because he picked 3 of us as the outstanding staff of the MD. He picked us himself. And those of us that worked, the 3 of us, everybody adjured that we are very hardworking. So when he came into Lagos State, when he went to pick the form, I was very excited because I know that Lagosia will be happy for the governor that they have chosen. So I'm very excited. I look forward to his style of this, to his leadership in Lagos State. I look forward to a Lagos where things will work again. So I'm very happy. And I'm looking forward to his ascension of the leadership of Lagos State come May 29, 2019 by God's grace.
Really, I was actually excited. Really, I was actually excited because in the small, it's like they said, either has been tested with small, we tested with a large. In a small capacity, within 2 years, like I said, he has done a lot for the corporation. So when I now imagine with a lot of resources and the bigger scope, what the state will enjoy if by inshallah in 2 weeks' time is in the state of power.
Of course, I was happy for the states. If using his achievement here as a parameter, he probably will take the state to the level that we've never seen before, because I think cumulatively he spent 2 years or less here, and you need to go around and see what he achieved compared to most of his predecessors who were here for so many years. So taking that and applying it to the state, I am assured that it's going to transform the state. More so, it's not new to administration in the state. He was a commissioner, and his footprints are everywhere in the record of Lagos State on his achievements that were achieved during his tenure when he was in Treasury, and when he was also in, I think, establishment that's the department that deals with, ministry that deals with HR and human resource issues. So I have this firm belief that he's going to achieve, and he's going to take the state to a greater height.
I feel pé ó dáa, but time tí wọ́n lò lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí, àwa ò fẹ́ àfẹ́ kan lọ ńgbà yẹn. In fact, personally mi ìfẹ́ kan fi wálẹ̀, but kò sí nǹkan tá a lè ṣe. Mo mọ̀ pé the next level náà ló ń lọ, so everybody personally mo wà happy.
I believe, God willing, Lagosians, thank God for the kind of people that, or the kind of candidates, or the kind of breeding that the former governor, Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been able to throw up. He threw up the likes of the former governor, current minister, Babatunde Raji Fashola. He threw up Femi Hamzat, Dr. Femi Hamzat, the running mate, and Mr. Sanwo-Olu. These are people who have served in his cabinet. So I expect I'm expecting that Lagosians, I'm trusting and believing that Lagosians would see the best of governance with 2 technocrats that have learned from a former performer and now coming to deliver to Lagos State. So they've been to the school, they've learned, they've performed during the regime of Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Dr. Femi Hamzat also served under the current minister, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola. What are we to expect? And they're very humble and down-to-earth human being. They've got the values, they've got the right interpersonal relationship, they've got the technocrats, they've got the brain, and they're ready to work. Judging from the way the campaign went, going to every sector, having discussions, identifying the needs and the challenges, you can tell that they're already putting down a book on what the challenges are, What are the likely solutions? So they want to hit the ground running. Like Mr. Sanwo-Olu himself would always tell us, let's pluck the low-hanging fruits. Let's pluck the low-hanging fruit, especially the one that would reach the populace. So I expect that Lagos State, in the next 4 years, by God's grace, we're going to have the best of governance. That is, judging, like I said, judging from what I have experienced within working here, judging from the campaign, judging from his running mate, Dr. Bafemi Hamzat, what is done at the state, what is done at the federal level with the current minister, because he's a special advisor on works. I expect the best for Lagos State. I expect the dark areas that Lagosians are mourning about to be tackled immediately. So I believe governance will be felt in the first 1 year, and that things are really going to jump in 4 years. That is my belief, and I pray God proves me right, and they prove me right.
Lagosians should expect, let me say, the best, because while he newly came into LSDPC, we heard about him that when he was at the state office, he added a lot of improvements to people's life, the staff welfare, and in the ministries where he had served before. So we were also watching and hoping that while in LSDPC, he would do something similar or better. And he didn't perform less than that. So Lagosians should expect the best during his tenure. That's just what I can say.
Really, I was actually excited. Really, I was actually excited because in the small, it's like they said, he that has been tested with small, we tested with a large. In the small capacity, within 2 years, like I said, he has done a lot for the corporation. So when I now imagine with a lot of resources and the bigger scope, what the state will enjoy if by inshallah 2 weeks time is in the state of power.
Fa kí àwọn ará Èkó kan máa expect pé Babájídé Sanwó-Olú is a man tó yẹ pé changes máa wà ní Èkó. I trust láti day one tó wá ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ṣe báyìí ó máa affect láti everybody ni títí dé even those dé ọmọ kékeré pé ó máa ní impact lára nǹkan tó bá ṣe l'Èkó.
Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, this is for you, boss. My Oga me. We know your worth, we know your standard, we know what you can do, and we believe you're not going to change. And if you're going to change, it's going to be for the better. Most of us have we've staked our neck, we've staked all that we've got, that this is a performer. God willing, please just go ahead and dazzle Lagos with performance. Let them see, oh my God, it's been good during Asiwaju, it was better during now we're having a blast in Lagos. That for me would be charm. And then, like he said, he wants to take Lagos to his team, transportation, everything, to Lagos being a mega city. We're talking of Dubai. We want Lagos to be the Dubai of Africa. Honestly, that is my closing remark, and I believe that God has deposited all that you need, ably assisted by your deputy governor, and I believe that your cabinet, the one you're going to be having, you're going to be putting round pegs in round holes, and they'll key into your vision and mission, and you're going to ensure that they perform in your gentle manner, doing it gently, and ably assisted by your lovely wife. Because without the support of your spouse and having a peaceful home and peace of mind, a man would come to work and is just disoriented. So that's my prayer, my belief, and what I think Lagos is in for in the next 4 years. Amen.
My closing remark is that as I've always prayed for him, I still pray that as God has given him the opportunity to advance, God himself will sustain him. He's wearing a larger shoe, and I believe he didn't scheme himself to become the governor of Lagos State. God that has lifted him, brought him up, will sustain him, back him up, give him the wisdom beyond that which he has exhibited in LSDPC, because he's now, going to get himself involved with the state, as a whole. LSDPC is still a portion of the state. So beyond the wisdom that God granted him in LSDPC, God will give him a better opportunity in wisdom. He will be able to perform even beyond expectations, because I told him when we met with him that people's expectations are so high, but I believe the God that backed him up in LSDPC will see him through all his tenure. He'll be able to perform even beyond the expectations of men by the grace of God.
Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, you have excelled before, especially in the private sector and also in the public sector. And I have no doubt, Emil, that you are going to excel in Lagos State. As you take us steadily, step by step, and as we follow you, by the time it's going to be 4 years, when we look back and we say, no, this cannot be Lagos. This is actually the Lagos of our dream.
Then we should all join hands, with the governor, support him with our prayers. We should also support him with what is expected of us in terms of our civic duties. And once we do that, the sky is the limit for Lagos State.
Well, my closing remark is asking Lagosian to give him their maximum support and to be rest assured that he's a man that will not disappoint them.
I'm just happy for Lagosians because he's I can't say it's the best, but it's one of the best things that's happened to Lagos in recent times.
Gbogbo promise during the campaign tó ń ṣe fún àwọn ará Èkó, kó make sure pé wọ́n mú ṣẹ, and LSDPC particularly ṣe mọ̀ pé bí wọ́n ti kúrò lọ, so kó mọ̀ pé impact pé wọ́n di governor yẹn wọ́n máa do more fún wa ní LSDPC.